And Alchemist was one of those games that they were so strong in. It's got to give props to them for.
Is the hero not easily counterable?
I feel like it's less so, especially if like Doom's out of the pool and stuff like that. I
the
feel like there's a lot of
Darks as well,
different
right?
ways that he can actually deal with it. Like,
Yeah.
he can actually deal with like these farms. Like people aren't building Spirit Vessel as much anymore. I feel like people aren't itemizing to deal with this like HP regen and all that. So, hey, can definitely work.
The main thing is because Alliance likes to pick S4's hero early, they've already shown the Darkseer, and you have this Warlock 5 for NaVi. Naturally enables any carry. Alchemist as a hero, he's countered if he's pressured in lane and then the enemy has an access to your jungle as well. But because you have this Darkseer, at best you're going to have an Earth Spirit or a Clockwork or one melee hero that can try and pressure. And then if you counter that with your own 4 rotation, Alk's pretty much free farm. So I see right now this Alk pick is free due to the Darkseer and due to the covered Warlock early on.
Yeah, I wonder if they maybe like switch something up and do some type of like aggro-ish lane with the Oracle to dispel and something like that, and put Darkseer in a different matchup or something.
That's
right?
true, yeah. That
like
could,
some triple ranged with an Oracle, and then you don't have to worry about the Warlock thing.
Yeah.
Some approaches I've seen definitely versus the Alchemist, but I think they still could go for something like the Spirit Breaker Darks or something like that. But like you said, it's not gonna apply the pressure. Like the Warlock's just gonna heal.
They just lack lane damage pretty much against this Alk.
And I also that's one thing actually I've been noticing in a couple games is damage, like lacking damage in some games. We were casting one game yesterday. I'm just like, yeah, sure, like first 15 minutes they're gonna have damage, but then they just have 0 damage out of their toolkit. So Alchemist, I think this hero might actually start to come back versus those type of lineups. So we can
I think a good example is Viking, for example. Like their lineups are super aggressive, but you always question it, where's their damage coming out?
Yeah.
And it's the same again right now, where this Alk pick, for example, against those type of lineups, if it survives, it just makes such a big wall to get over, and you just can't break it most of the time.
Do you remember when they ran Ancient Apparition mid?
Oh, good times.
To counter the Alchemist, could we potentially see a return?
Alliance have shown that they are willing to pick
Jakiro mid.
Mm-hmm.
So
if they want to lose the series quicker, then sure, go for it.
I think AA can break stuff though. I think that hero does break certain things, but it's a tough hero to make work, and it's it's not great.
Not a fan. of that.
Not a fan.
Like right now, I'm seeing like Sven still being a very strong hero for Alliance. He naturally is one of the best heroes against Alk, just because once you connect onto him, you just eat through him. Alk doesn't really have a lot of armor. He needs to get to like AC or Sheavers or one of these items later on.
Yeah, they're gonna ban it.
Sven
Especially when they have Darkseer as well too, right? Like it's just a combo. I think the other one I'm looking at is actually a limp specialty, Death Prophet. You're never gonna have to worry about damage in the game, right? You're always gonna have a way to actually bring him down. The silence is actually good. You have ways to stop upheaval. You have ways to counteract the backlines too.
For Alliance right now, their bans are super important because they've got Ember banned out, because that was one of the instrumental reasons why Na'Vi was able to be EG. And I'm thinking like maybe like an Invoker as well. That Quaz Wex naturally does really good against any aggression. You've already shown Dark, so therefore like it's going to be like a double melee run at you. Invoker will hard counter that. It's just what's Alliance's game plan. If they have the DP, then sure, they just be able to plow down towers and pressure this out. But it's about rounding out their draft to have that timing.
Yeah. I mean, the Death Prophet looks phenomenal. They have Oracle too. They have like everything. Surge with the Death Prophet as well versus like Warlock, who doesn't really stun, right? You have this people that won't matter. I mean, it looks really good for him. Yeah, I think they could even force it early. Because like the matchup, I don't feel like Death Prophet has that many bad matchups anymore, especially with the buffs. Like the Crypt Swarm is actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, it fares pretty well. Even like, for example, you think, oh, maybe a Batrider, but the Siphon, you don't really care
you can
too
actually
much.
counteract it.
Exactly.
No one destroyed the matchup actually yesterday versus Weehaw, so I really do like that pick if they're able to get it set up here. Here they're taking out like those super beef cakes.
There's
you have to ban the Death Prophet. They're listening to us.
Lord,
turn the stream off, lads.
Yeah. Oh man, they need other ways to be able to provide damage. So that's the 2 biggest hard hitters right now that they've actually removed to counter out the Alchemist. So Alliance is gonna have to have something else. Because even the Slark's gone too. So
again, this is just a very nice Rubik pick because it sets up Pasha for his like the Centaurs, the Omni Knights, any of these just melee 3s that just allows Rubik to have a pretty chill game. Alliance on the other hand, what do we think? I'm thinking Earth Spirit most likely, just because you can potentially go for a Vessel if you need to against the Alk. You can still have that early pressure. And you just need to have some type of team fight because against they go for Clockwork instead.
I think I like
exact
Clock a
same
little.
philosophy.
It's the same thing, but he gives vision, and he'll give easier vision to the back always. Like he'll always be able to scout.
Storm.
That was quick.
Yeah, that was.
Is this exactly what they?
That's confidence.
It's almost. Oh no, that's not exactly. They were drafting against actually a Storm Spirit the other day, but. Okay, I mean you don't see a lot of disables already right off the bat, right? Oracle, he just has his little root. Clockwork can be a bit annoying if he plays around it, like the hook shot of the cog backwards, but it's gonna be some limited disables. And there's a Rubik that they picked the Clockwork into.
it's still the same like fear from Alliance where they might have this early pressure, but they're still going to get to a window of like that mid game where they're going to how are we actually killing things.
They need some crazy damage.
They have Void, which is nice. It's the classic Nico baby can get on my back, lads. I'm going to carry you through into the late game, but it's still where's the damage right now? Like you're running around, you might kill this Alk a couple of times, but I don't see anything that stops his farm. There's no clean combo that's like, all right, we're controlling your jungle or we're doing stuff, because they're tied into cooldowns and a lack of early damage, which is perfect for the lack of Alk and Storm.
I feel like Navi's very happy with this setup right now.
The counter argument would be the fact you have Alk and Storm, it puts a lot of pressure on Storm making good early rotations, and that is pretty hard against Darkseer and Void because they're a little bit more elusive.
Do you feel like he has to feel forced to do that so much though?
Potentially, just because Alk and Storm both want to maybe retreat to the jungle, so there might be just an awkward amount of just farming needing to happen and no movement. When you make no movement, it amplifies the Darkseer type combos, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think
I'm less concerned just because he doesn't have that many. Like, there's just not that many disables he has to worry about, and there's the Rubik can bail him out of some situations too. So I feel like they can just play lanes with 4 heroes while Alchemist just chills. We don't know what the 4th hero is still, but Alliance needs some. They need some output inside of Chronosphere. Like their damage is just not. It's just not there at all. Like I'm not sure what the Limp hero would be for that actually. Like most are banned.
Like a casual Quap maybe.
Yeah, I mean that could
perhaps
work.
I like the ban though from the Omni, but that's nice.
What about Skywrath Mage?
No.
No.
Your face is... Oh, no.
You can't see him, but...
The thing is that they need to hit a couple different fronts, because right now they have like no physical damage either, right? It's like all magic damage in their draft too. So this timing of Alchemist, if he gets Radiance BKB, I don't know how they bring him down at all. Like they have to have something that's provided from Limp.
It could be just like a casual Lena type situation where you just do really well against the Storm. You can pressure the tower. When Storm wants to go to farm the jungle camp, tower pressure, you can always move in with the clock. You're covered from the Void and all these 3 melees, but it's still... I hate saying Lena, because again, Storm in the game, it's like, it never feels good. But if they play well, it could be really good.
Yeah, I feel like your Quaps... I mean, I'm seeing the Furion ban and it's Screaming Queen of Pain, right?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
And there are some limited disables on Navi too, right? They have Vortex and they have the Lift, which can be annoying for Quap, but...
Could be like a Leshrac as well. You have the Oracle pairing as well. Darkseer. It's another very strong...
And then Eve's Edict. Edict is actually there, like some physical and some way to take towers. Because that's what I'm worried about, right? There's no objective taking, and they have this pretty much 0 physical damage at all in their draft, so...
Yeah. I think Leshrac or Quap are pretty big. Or whatever they say on 3rd, and then we can just claim that we're thinking that.
I'm just thinking through Limp heroes, because he usually doesn't stray too far outside of his box.
It's true.
And they're pretty low on time, too.
Is TA too greedy?
That's what I was thinking, but that's like... I feel like that's really greedy if they do the TA. It's going to be the Quap. Okay, yeah. I think that's the last one. Yeah. Good damage in Chrono, decent lane, some sort of limited disables in a way. Alchemist, I mean, they're going to start building up those disables, but can be active, make space.
So now I'm thinking... like not lane dominated, but like a strong laning presence for Navi. So it's like a Centaur maybe, or just any, like a Brewmaster as well is pretty good. You pretty much have a 4 protect 1 type combo. Casual Brew, Tornado the Void, off you go. Rest of the heroes are going to fall pretty easily.
Could work. It's Pasha as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I think they're my 2 I'm leaning towards. The Brew or the Centaur.
I mean, Centaur is just the cleanest one, but it is versus Void.
They could go even... Is Void Spirit still available? He's played that a couple times. 9 still.
Oh, that's really good. Oh my god, versus double mobility cores, that is a real nice pick. I actually love that.
But again, it is still a hero that they now have 3 cores that they need a little bit of time to come online, and they have like later timings where if this Quap pops off, makes strong rotations, if Clock has a good time, Navi could be punished, but Navi eventually are just very, very scary.
I actually really like this pick. Gives you such good vision, great ways into the back. Silence versus Void Quap.
Enough now. The oracles have predicted the odds 274 139. Do you agree, my counsel?
After draft, no.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit Alliance favored. Or maybe it's the whole Arc Warden factor, right? Like,
Interesting. Come here, T-Governor. Come close. I have something of utmost importance to whisper to you. Closer, T-Governor. Even closer.
Watch out, he'll grab you very aggressively.
Even closer than that. The game is about to begin, my brothers. We must travel to the Grand Casting Arena, T-Governor, and we must watch a game unlike the Classico. And now, I bite him.
Thank you very much, Slacks. Yes, NaVi versus Alliance. Somebody Pixel here with Kyle for this one. Kyle, we've just, I don't know what we've just seen, but other than that, there was the draft going on.
Certainly was.
What do you reckon? We're seeing sort of the Void coming out. We've got that finisher at the Quap for Alliance. The panel, though, seems like what NaVi was doing in response to this, though.
Yeah, I did too. I feel like it was very odd to me that Alliance was willing to pick Void into Alchemist. I feel like ever since OG, when they still had Miracle in the squad, they did it a couple majors. Like, if you Void us, we will Alchemist you. And Alliance take the Void into the Alch. It's just a little questionable to me. I think that NaVi certainly have an advantage. I think their mid-game team fight's going to be nuts.
Okay.
But Alliance have Clockwork Oracle. I don't know. I honestly don't see their win condition. But I've been wrong many times before.
Sure. And what is sort of your biggest concern with Alliance? Is it just
damage?
It's the damage.
It's just
like Quap isn't enough with Void. You don't think that sort of finisher from Limp, having him on this high level of burst early on? That's just
you've got Alchemist and you've got a Night Stalker. You're going to be very durable into the mid game. Storm's going to be tough to take out, and then you have Darkseer with no real like vac stun combo, and Quap is more of this burst damage carry when I think that they're missing sustained damage in the Chronosphere.
Okay. And if that, if that's the case, if you're Alliance and you've gone for this draft, is there something else that their draft does so well that the lack of damage doesn't matter? Like, is there another thing that they've sort of drafted towards? At the end of the day, it's not who does the most damage, it's who defeats the enemy Ancient.
Sure. It's just going to be a matter, I think, of scaling the Alchemist. I think people traditionally have a misread where they try and deny the Radiance and play super aggressive. Alliance don't necessarily have a draft that can do that.
So you think they're going to go for maybe the super late hyper carry Void?
I think you go one of the two options.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I start saying things, I realize that actually what I should say is the opposite of what I'm saying. In this case, Alliance do have a draft that can take the lead in the early game because they can play aggressively with the Darkseer. In theory, we've seen this Void build change a bit after the Halberd nerf. We saw yesterday a couple Mask of Madness straight into BKB. Think that could be something effective here, and you just play really aggressive with this Darkseer Clock combo. The trouble with Alliance's lineup is just their ability to take objectives. It's going to be tough for them to collect kills and take towers if they don't have many heroes rotating down. And the Oracle doesn't have this really tanky core to play around or anything. It's quite nice against the Warlock because you can dispel the Fatal Bonds and the heal.
Yeah, which is going to be very important, in the fights. And as you say, one of the builds being Mask of Madness, BKB, if you want to play fast on the Void. When you have something like an Oracle and you still want to play fast, can you, do you still want to be getting the BKB earlier, or can you afford to go for a sort of a damage item instead of the BKB if you want to play early?
There's a lot of different. I'm honestly not sure. I've seen so many different builds on the Void over time. I think the Alchemist build is going to be more relevant simply because I've seen people just go like Radiance to the BKB. We still see the Blink sometimes. I think after the Heart nerf, we don't see that as often.
No,
it's a pretty decent Manta game in theory. But you got to be cautious about stacking too many auras on the Alchemist, because if he gets vac walled at any point, then suddenly he's just effectively giving his hero over to Alliance to utilize, which could be his own squad's downfall.
The battle begins.
We'll see what sort of lanes the sides start off with. Pasha, of course, taking it to the top as the Night Stalker. He's going to have... we'll see Ilias probably head down to help the Alchemist. They're not going to want to leave that Alchemist alone, as Alliance will be looking to bully him in the lane. Setting up the two of them, and then this mid lane matchup, Young G on the Storm against the Queen of Pain. A lane where I imagine Limp at the start, you're going to be able to harass the Storm, right? It's going to get to the point where Young G's pushed back, but he'll still be able to farm camps.
It's situational. Young G did a really nice job. You've got to win the block in this matchup. If Quap takes it, it's near impossible to play the lane for Storm, at least for the first couple of waves, but he did pretty well, so now it's just a last hit war.
Yeah. And interesting as well that we see Limp, he still takes the screen first. Even though you're against a hero that you will have opportunities to dagger, it's just because you have to secure your CS.
Yeah, because it's more about the pushing of the lane. Because Storm gets control, if you skill Q and Storm gets just starts pushing the lane into you, you're then forced to hit under tower, and you can't effectively last hit and while also trading with the Storm. So instead, Limp now, he's got control on his hill instead of having it pushed into his own tower.
Nice, yeah. And you can certainly see that. And now that he's hit the 2, he's going to be able to have that extra harassment, and we'll see how Youngji's able to play against it.
I hope we don't see something like we did in the D2 match the other day when the Quap went 1-0-2, skipped Blink, ended up getting ganked and dying. That was entertaining. No one can really rotate on the side of NaVi this early on, however. It's mostly actually going to be Pasha making moves, I'd imagine, once the nighttime hits.
I'd imagine on these side lanes, is this Alliance getting what they wanted, right? Nico Baby down here, not having to farm underneath the pressure of Pasha's offlane Night Stalker.
Honestly, not really sure. Night Stalker isn't the greatest in lane until he hits nighttime. The base damage, as you can see, 70 level 2 is pretty impressive. I think it's more about putting the clock in this lane. You prefer to have clock safe lane, and you're also now in a scenario where you can run down both enemy heroes. But I always do feel a little worrisome when I see a Darkseer safe lane, just because you're not applying pressure in the same way. And oftentimes it allows the enemy side to just leave one hero in their own off lane and free farm anyway.
Because with this setup, you feel like Crystallize, he's not going to be too fussed against this lane. He's still going to be able to farm pretty freely down here.
I imagine Void will win the lane, but I don't think it's going to be too bad.
Because especially having the Warlock backup, right?
Yeah.
Like Warlock and
heal.
Alchemist, he's just going to be hitting creeps. Not a lot that Alliance can do to slow him down with that lane setup.
Already a brace up from Pasha. He's going to be just fine up top. Youngji doing quite well mid lane as well. Off to a good start. It's very important to win the first few waves as Storm get the bottle up ASAP.
Actually down bottom, Crystallize. Getting very low. Elias will be able to get him with the Shadow Word. Those bashes nearly doing it there. And Crystallize will be saved. And stick around. And Nico Baby taking a fair bit of damage there from the Fatal Bonds. Will be removed from it. Mid lane 15 for 5 against the 10 for 4. Youngji keeping slightly ahead. But is, by the looks of it, going to have to... Oh no, he gets himself regen ferried out. He's going to be fine. Top lane S4 and Hanskin trying to get in onto Immersion. They're back underneath the tower. Alliance won't be able to pressure any further.
Yeah. A static laning phase should favor NaVi, in theory. Alliance are the ones with the pressure to make plays around the map. But they're doing pretty solid in all 3 lanes. I think the key is that Crystallize isn't off to the greatest start. Already been forced to blow a little extra gold on regen as well. Soul Ring, yeah, that makes sense. After the changes, I think Alk's one of those heroes that just sees so much more value now if he picks it up.
We'll see the 4-minute rune not going to be able to be looked towards from NaVi with Youngji, as he did have to spend this time walking back to base. Elias can't stop this, so Limp's just going to be able to grab it. Of course, he himself, not having his own bottle yet, did have to spend quite a bit more on regen, getting out of the lane. Those mangoes, making sure that he could keep this consistent spam up against Youngji, which has certainly paid off.
Yep.
It's pushed Youngji back to the jungle.
He did a really good job pushing him out of lane. He got that really early bottle, but Limp forced him so hard that he had to back off. And then Alliance, just heads up, you got to control the runes against the Storm that gets early bottle. If he were to take that DD, he just goes right back to mid. He can contest Limp. Instead, again, Limp, hang on.
He's going to jump in aggressively onto Youngji. There's going to be TPs coming across. Youngji starting to play back into Limp. Immersion heading over. Can they get... They can! What was that blink, Kyle?
I don't know.
He just gave up first blood. After winning the lane cut, he was winning the lane.
It was so like I feel bad for Limp there because you can see him immediately regret his blink.
Sure, he was like,
goes in, Qs, streams. He's like, wait, this isn't good. Immersion actually has time to TP in. Just heads up by Youngji, making that aggressive play. You can't ask a young kid from the CIS if he wants to go toe to toe. He'll always take the fight. At nighttime now, so Pasha is going to be out to a speedy recovery. I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, I mean, Limp, that's just sort of shakes it up a bit, and Youngji is
I was about
very,
to praise
very
him.
happy.
I was about to praise him. He went to the S4 school of mid, just control the hill. I was about to say he's doing great because you don't need to go kill the Storm. You just keep the lane on your hill. G was about to go walk over to another camp. He can't even enter the lane, and then you blink it.
Yeah, no, Limp's going to be... He's going to be kicking himself for that one. He's going to... You know, as you said, you could feel the regret right as soon as that blink had ended.
Crystallize now much tankier. He's got 5 HP regen and effectively permanent Q if he's able to use a Soul Ring charge.
So immersion. And he's going to be able to stop Limp from grabbing that regen. And in this lane, Young-G, he's now got past the rough bit of the game where he's going to be hitting the 6 off this wave. Bottom lane. Pressure from Alliance onto Crystallize, bringing him down low with the Purifying Flame nukes, and FNG and the Nico, baby, they have it.
Yeah, really nice job. Nico, that Orb of Venom is instrumental in finding the kill, and FNG doing a good job to just basically spam damage. Caught Ilias sleeping. He was over by the pull, and his Alchemist was all by his lonesome. Yeah, top lane, pretty much a trade, but this again is the downside of safe lane Darkseer, because you're just handing free farm to the enemy offlaner, oftentimes who is a more effective use of it. Because the Darkseer, like, you're always going to get creeps. Right here he is just taking a hard camp stack, no problem. But Pasha just gets to freely last it under tower, which means he'll have a very quick upgraded boots and maybe a drums or medallion, whatever he chooses to go for. G. Ooh.
So they can get S4, he's able to get him with the Vortex, dragging him back. The Surge comes to an end, lifted up by the Telekinesis. And they'll try and get that kill the way of the Storm. It's not going to be the case though, Pasha.
Wait, what?
Actually getting the last hit on it, bottom.
Oh, Hans can put him on the cliff.
He's up there. And is this going to give them the space to kill off Ilias with the cogs out? It will. Alliance.
What?
Will be able to find the Warlock and Crystallize. He's stuck. Ward down.
What in the...
And his TP's on cooldown. His TP's on cooldown for 40 seconds.
They just leave him there.
I mean, I was going to say it would be
Don't
more...
even kill him.
Just leave him. And Limp's going to want the kill. They've lost the vision. He's going to have Scream up again in a second. There we have it. I'll take him out. Young-G's going to come in with the counterplay though. Looks over towards FNG. I'll take the kill on Oracle in return.
We're only 7.5 minutes in. This is one of the strangest games of Dota I have seen all tournament.
Yeah, first game of the day.
It's El Clasico. This is what we've come to expect. You know, these squads have been going at it all the way back to what? TI2, TI3?
Oh, this is another freebie for Young-G. He's in with the burst. They've got the Fatal Bonds out as well. Hansken's down. I mean, Young-G, after feeling the heat in the laning stage where Limp was applying good pressure early on, he's come right back into this game now. He's top of the net worth, 3-0-1 on this Stormer. At 8 minutes in, he's finding so much action. For the most part, Alliance is bringing over to his half of the map.
Yeah, I'd say so far so good for Alliance. They have thoroughly dumpstered Crystallize. He is barely ahead of his Rubik in net worth, and he's forced off to just jungle hard camp stacks that he's made for himself. This is very much not the game that NaVi expected. But to your point, yeah, Young-G ahead, Pasha ahead. You could argue these heroes are more important.
Because, I mean, these heroes, the pressure they're going to be able to apply, should it be enough to get space for this Alchemist in this sort of game? And there we have it. Hansken with the style.
On purpose.
See down bottom. NaVi making a move onto FNG. And one more Void will do it. Pasha just trying to find it. Doesn't want to even waste the mana. Doesn't need to. Chases him down under the night time.
Oh, nice. The ring for the Storm. The best, I believe, second highest win rate of all neutral items in Dota 2.
Yeah, anytime you get it on these ink cores, it just feels amazing.
It's so bro. It's a half a mana ring, 10 in, 3 armor.
Is it? I thought it was 8 in. Is it 10 in?
It was before.
It's 8 in. Is it 8 or 10?
Can we hover over the arcane ring real
quick? Is it plus 8 in or 10 in?
I think it's 10. Hang on.
Oh, let's see the go on to Limp. Oh, he's gone.
Jeez.
He couldn't get the blink off. He couldn't get the blink off there. Pasha just cancelling the little animation with the Void. And the blink took too long to get off. Over here, Pasha, he's going to be able to fly his way out. Young-G, he's just going to zip straight in. He's strong enough. He's got the mana, pulls back Hansken. Young-G, is he going to go down here as S4's trying to chase him out? But Ilias, he's offering up the Shadow Word heal. Young-G's going to be fine. He's starting to bottle up as well, so he's got that extra bit of mana. He's able to zip down, chasing onto S4, taking down another Pasha, lift up as well onto FNG. NaVi, they're getting so many kills here. Again, it's like the Alliance fast food service. They're just delivering all this food to NaVi's half of the map. and they're cleaning it up. It's 9-3 now, 2K lead. I feel like Alliance has just got to sort of slow down a bit. I mean, you said they wanted to play fast, and they kind of need to, but it seems like they're just forcing it a little too much at the moment. Too much.
It's just making plays that, you know, it's a Darkseer plus a clock. If you're going to make this maneuver, Limp has to be alive. Limp has to be ready to rotate, and once he goes down, you can't get caught behind enemy lines. Like, they have Quap Bolt ready. They want to make this move. In fact, I think they can just try it again. It's just got to be executed a little better. I mean, S4 went for a Vanguard, which shocks me because I would have expected, you know, a really fast Helm of the Dominator, you know, something to get active early on, or at least something that has the ability to help his team offensively. But even later on, a Crimson Guard isn't going to be super effective.
What do you think? What's he seen in this game in the draft from NaVi that's made him say that this is the preferable item to go first on Darkseer this game?
I see somebody's got a front line, and in a sense, like, it has to be S4 here. I just thought he would do it in a different way. Like, a mech is so solid for this team at a point as well. And it's what he's got queued up next. It's just a very expensive item to rush like this. It's 11.5 minutes in. You know, that's not going to allow him to apply too much offensive pressure. And ultimately, he's dying to magic damage, not right clicks right now. And Young G's off to a
he's 4-0-3 at 11 minutes. This is one of those, you know, just incredible storm starts to a game.
Yeah. And Iron Talon Crystallize. You know, the one bright spot, though, Alliance, if you look at the Alchemist, he's not really having the greatest game. Sure, top in the net worth.
I mean, he's catching up there. He was down in the bottom half. As time is passing.
Have seen him own games, though, he's running away with it. And this is still very much, you know, in control. If Alliance can contest this upcoming stack clear, could be huge for them, but they got to make it happen fast.
And we have a Young G. He's going to look for Hanskin. Hanskin has got the 6, so can look to jump away. In fact, he's just going to jump straight back in. Nico Baby comes in with the chrono, and that will be enough lockdown to punish Young G. See the chase here. He's trying to look for more. Immersion was able to steal the chronosphere, so potential plays for NaVi to come out with. That is if he survives. The bash is coming out. Lift up. They're going to throw down the golem. The Sonic Wave comes crashing over. Will take out the Rubik. Jump over from Nico Baby back to safety. FNG also able to offer up the Dispel as Pasha, he's going to turn, focus down the Oracle, stay on top of FNG, take him out. See what Pasha wants to look for next. Limp blinking away. Can Pasha still get in on this? He's a little low on the HP, so won't be able to chase them any further. But this time around, you know, Chrono's up. They're able to get the clean pick onto the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, they needed that. And you can see there's the benefit of the Vanguard, right? Because S4 just ran in, and there is not a damn thing Navi can do to target him if they don't have him isolated or a bunch of spells up, especially if Storm's dead.
Just a good amount of straight-up HP and regen.
Yeah. They got the Golem usage, too. So an Alliance now in a decent position, maybe looking to push a tower here. But, again, they have a pretty significant lack of structure damage. So this is easier said than done. FNG rapidly approaching 6.
Hanskin's found a catch. And it's a big one. Crystallize. He's here in the jungle. They've found him. They're chasing him. And they've got him. Another important kill on the Alchemist to continue to keep his game held to a certain position.
His game is, like, I can't believe how bad Crystallized game is right now, Owen. Like, this does not feel like it's an Alchemist. This is just a typical carry performance in terms of net worth generated. And he's not really applied any offensive pressure. Like, he's just been farming his own safe side of the jungle for 5-6 minutes now.
And Alliance getting this tower. This will not be held onto by NaVi. Nico Baby getting the last touch.
Yeah.
More money for the Faceless Void as Nico Baby now considerably holding that lead.
He's going for the build, Mask BKB.
You like it safe and fast?
Yep. I like this decision. I think you go this MOM BKB MKB build, and you just hit this really significant power spike every time you pick up your next big item. And it also makes it a lot easier to do Roche because you have the ability to tank it for your side, which is something Alliance will probably want to do in maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Hanskin has Hook up again, and then Chrono in 20.
Radiant are scanning.
Let's see if they can catch anyone here. FNG starting to hunt in the trees. He's going to see Pasha. Limp's going to jump forward. Silence is out. And they're just going to leap in with the Faceless Void as Nico Baby has the bashes.
Yep. Yeah, the downside of Navi's lineup is that none of their heroes actually want to play Dota yet. You know, Young G has been incredibly active, but it's time of the game where he just wants to finish his Orchid, farm some camps. Alchemist has no intention of participating, and your Night Star, I mean, it's daytime. Soon it will be night, but Pasha can't really make plays all by his lonesome.
How's Young G doing on the Orchid? He's got the first Oblivion done. That's still a decent bit of timing that he's going to need. Nico Baby and FNG, they're waiting on the high ground. As Nico Baby's going to go for this one. He's dropping the chrono. It's another opportunity to just slow down that Orchid. 2 times now, they managed to find that move onto the Storm. Also getting the catch on Ilias. Alliance, they're really taking this game back under their wing now. 2K lead. These are the moves that you need to see when they go for this sort of draft. Nico Baby, chrono, pretty much off cooldown. He's straight away looking for opportunities to use it. Catch out the Storm or the Alchemist. If they kill one of these heroes, Alliance are going to be able to keep hold of the game.
Yeah, just Crystallized just isn't a hero yet. Like this is the first time I've seen him in a lane in like 4 minutes. His net worth is just not there. Like the fact that he is even with S4 is kind of crazy to me. It's 16 minutes in, he still hasn't even finished his relic. We usually see like Radiant's BKB at this point. Credit to Alliance, they focused on the hero that mattered. Yeah, we were talking about how Storm and Nightstalker are off to a good start, but ultimately they're not game winners.
No, it's especially in a game where there's the Chronosphere, right? Storm is going to always be at that huge vulnerability of getting Chrono. You catch this hero in the Chrono, it isn't a tanky hero. You're not going to suffer and struggle with damage required to kill him.
It reminds me, one of my the best quotes by one of my favorite analysts, Cinderin. When there's an Alch in the game, it's an Alchemist game. And so far, Alliance understand that. Not sure Navi got the same read because they've yet to really get him involved. Like, the Relic is now finished, but even when he gets the Radiance online, I'm curious how relevant it'll be in terms of actually being able to take team fights. With the Warlock, especially going max Fatal Bonds, it's a significant damage amp. And you just got to be cautious. Alliance, you're ahead, but you know how it goes. You throw one engagement against a teamfight lineup like Navi's got, and you could be in big trouble. Limp specifically has got to be cautious, as does Nico really, because that AoE silence from Ilias or Pasha during nighttime could just straight up be enough to kill them.
There we go. This tier 1 tower should go down there. Nice effort from Pasha keeping the siege creep alive. So Na'Vi will be able to take themselves something off the map. But meanwhile, you see Alliance just all inside Na'Vi's jungle, keeping this mid lane and bottom lane pushed right up to the tier 2 towers.
Brown Boots Orchid finished on Limp, so he's ready to take out the enemy Storm if he was able to find him. It's a really nice combo. When you have a clock, you want to have some method of fully locking down whoever he goes for. So this means if he's able to find the Storm or the Night Stalker, he'll be able to catch them before they can fly away. Who got that Essence Ring? Was that Navi's?
Oh yeah, it's no, Alliance have got it. Limp's got it.
Got it.
Limp's going to be getting it out from South by the looks of it on the Quap.
Nice. It's a favorite tier 2 item for either mid. And yeah, I mean, Alliance doing a great job so far. They're just taking towers.
They're going to be able to go for the 20-minute outpost as well with this early tier 2 taken down at 18 minutes. Really speeding up the pace here, Alliance. Taking some excellent map control. And just really limiting the space that Crystallized continues to get, where he can be as this Alchemist. Moment trying to find what he can from of course, Alliance's half, and that Radiance nearly done.
It almost feels like his other 2 cores and his Rubik have taken too much space. You see like Arteezy play this Alchemist. It's like the whole squad plays around his need to get as many creeps as possible. Whereas Na'Vi, they're just kind of playing this standard game of Dota, but you've got to help out your Alch more. He's just now getting the Radiance up. Like, it's just so late. They need this fight to go off well. Ilias has the Golem plus Fatal Bond prepared. But they need to get a kill core.
They're catching them just coming into the high ground triangle here. There, Na'Vi with that ward. So they do know that Alliance is waiting up there. So they've got to be very careful, Na'Vi. They're going to go for this smoke, but very difficult to make a move into Alliance. Well, whilst all the ults are available, BKB, as we see on Nico Baby.
Alliance have more counter-initiate answers. Like, they have the only true save support. They have a BKB on the Void. He's not a target anymore, even with the Orchid up on Young G. They've got Chrono. They got the Vac Wall. And you have a Clock Hook that can come in at any time. Whereas Na'Vi, you effectively just have to follow your Alchemist in. God forbid he gets gone on. You can't save him. How do you save him?
Yeah, all they can do is sort of just throw ults and throw the Golem down, but that alone is unlikely to stop Alliance long enough to keep your Alch alive at this stage. As Alliance, they're coming over. Who are they going to be able to find? Nico Baby's looking for a target. Pasha Comes in, they will get the concoction over onto Nico Baby, but Nico Baby's just going to jump back over. Time dilation onto Crystallize. Crystallize is trying to fight this, but the wall is down. They'll lift up the Void, drop down the Golem as well, but Nico Baby, he's more than fine. He's just going to continue to punch into Crystallize, pushing him away. On the backlines, though, Pasha was able to get in onto FNG, and with the Golem, they kill off Hanskin as well. So NaVi this time able to do a good job of sort of ignoring the front line of Nico Baby and just go straight for the backlines. And Nico Baby, he's still feeling confident and trying to fight, but that whole engagement not able to find an opportunity to use the Chronosphere. So at the end of it all, NaVi, they get in, they get 2 kills, they get out, they don't lose anything there, NaVi.
Yeah. That could have been much worse. That was Alliance's fight. And hang on, there's a Chrono going off. Or something. Nico's doing stuff.
Wait,
what?
Oh my goodness, Nico
Chrono.
Baby living on the edge. He gets the kill, and more than likely will get out. But he was living on the edge there, Kyle.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, so he's making plays though. Shout out to NaVi. They took a really nice fight. Let Crystallize tank the Void. If he chronos just one target, it's not worthwhile. And meanwhile, his other 2 cores just take out FNG. But with no nighttime, Pasha's hero. We talked about how he's getting all this farm top lane. He's useless daytime.
Damn that. Let's see if they can finish Pasha here. The time dilation slow from Nico Baby coming in at a few bashes, and they should have this one pretty easily. As Nico Baby, I mean, this man, he's scared of nothing. He will start things on his own accord there. Him against 3 or 4 heroes of NaVi, nearly dying, dropping the chrono, and then it doesn't just result in the storm kill, but also the opportunity for the rest of Alliance to run over and pick up 2 extra kills on top.
Oh yeah. No, he's playing a hell of a game. We forgot to mention it in the pregame, but got to put some respect on Nico Baby's Faceless Void. This was a must ban, or they would pick it against Alliance for some time. Hero's been changed a bit since, but still one of their preferred cores. Crystallize? Okay.
And having a fantastic game so far, Nico Baby. 4-0-4. They haven't been able to catch him, and even when he plays as deep as he did just then, and he's still not getting caught, it's kind of hard to see a situation where NaVi are going to be able to kill Nico Baby. He is just, he's not playing in a way that he is going to get killed. He's just not dying. With the BKBs, he is invincible.
It's Crystallized that would be the threat. When we used to see it played by Miracle, and it was, I guess just Alex in general. When you get ahead, you can hunt. You've got this Radiance AC BKB blink, and it's 20 minutes in. We're at 22. We don't have that BKB up on Crystallized, so he's still worried for his own survival. He's not yet at the point where he can think about killing enemy cores, and that's his job. That's his role in this game. Lowest damage dealt on his entire team. As we pass 23 minutes game time. It's wild stuff. Well played by Alliance. So they've done a great job taking towers. That's the key. They've got so much map control now, already with control of the Radiant Outpost. You can feel the map shrinking for NaVi. And keep in mind, this is a must-win for both teams if they want to make it into the playoff stages of the Immortal League. If Alliance or NaVi were to lose, if Alliance were to lose this, they're 100% relegated into the Divine Division. If NaVi lose, they go into a must-win match against Nigma tomorrow.
Oh. That's Nico Baby. He's found the other big target. This time, Crystallize going to be the focus. Stolen Chrono comes out, but it's not going to be able to do anything to save that Auk. As Nico Baby just... These Chronos, they just get the job done each and every time. Storm kill, out kill. And with one of the cores down, it's hard for NaVi to punch back at the cores. They're going to try and go for the supports, looking for Hansken. Hansken will fall. S4 getting lifted up. Do they have the damage to burst through this Darkseer, though? Doesn't look like it. As S4 runs himself away with the Surge. Nico Baby able to jump back to safety as well with the Time Walk. And again, it just feels like every time that Chronosphere's up, NaVi are completely at Alliance's mercy.
They just have no answers to the BKB on the Void. The Nico Baby has no real threat. Orchid doesn't scare him at all. And no one on NaVi can really go toe-to-toe with him either, with the exception of Crystallize, who Nico's perfectly fine chronoing and killing if necessary.
On them, Sim. They found themselves a quick catch.
Okay.
It really just feel like the execution from Alliance here at 25 minutes is, I feel like we have seen similar drafts for Alliance just totally fall out of favor at this point, but because of how well they're playing with with the timings. Like this Nico baby Void, he's not even hitting creeps when Chronosphere's up. He is just in there every single time. Hanskin and Limp also able to grab Immersion. Immersion was able to take the bounty room before he goes down.
Yeah, I mean, Lions are just playing great, straight up. They've got double BKB on the cores now, and you look at Navi's heroes, they just have nothing for spell immune heroes. They just run. And
yeah,
Young G, he was on such a great start. Look at his net worth now. 1,000 behind the enemy offlaner. And he's forced to go back for Yules. This is never a good spot as a Storm. You want to always be progressing. You'd love to be able to get a BKB, but just not confident picking up this early. You're concerned about your scaling. So you go for the Yule. Oh, hang on. No, that's nothing to it.
Yeah, a little too fast here at nighttime, Pasha, for Alliance to grab. You can see already Alliance starting to move over as a unit. Nico baby leading the way. 20 seconds till Chronosphere. He is more than ready to look for another catch. I mean, they know Alliance. Any fight with BKB Chrono, and it's going to be a surefire team fight win, as we've seen in every single time it's occurred so far. Blink Dagger is done from Crystallize, so a bit of a better way to get in, and also, of course, a nice alternative to juke out the Chronosphere if you're quick with the reactions. But still, using it aggressively, it's going to be difficult. You have saves, the Surge, even sort of a Cogs coming out, and of course the big ones from FNG on his Oracle. So if anything, Crystallize, he's going to have to look towards getting on top of FNG in the fights with the Blink concoction. And of course, if FNG's quick with the Q, he himself's going to have a counterplay to that.
You've got to initiate if you're Na'Vi. You've got to find not one, probably just 2 kills at the onset. But keep in mind, those 2 cores of Alliance with BKBs, they can just turn the fight around, no problem, if they get the information necessary. Na'Vi, you've got to find something. But like, you can't really even open on Limp. You got 100 to 0 him. Let's see if they can find him. They see him now.
There we go. That's the initiation there. Able to pick him up with the Time Walk.
Nice.
That'll do it. It's now Alliance. They're going to try and maybe fight back. You can see Nico baby looking for an opportunity. Wall is down. He's waiting to see if they group up a little more. Young G trying to go in deep onto the Oracle, but he used a lot of his mana for that. Crystallize is going to put the BKB. The Golems drop down onto Hanskin, but Hanskin, he's going to be saved by FNG. There's a buyback from Limp. Alliance, they want to keep this fight going as Nico baby turns, chases down Crystallize. Crystalliz's BKB comes to an end, and so does his life. They'll also be able to take out Immersion. They're trying to hide in the jungle. And you can see that even when Na'Vi are able to get in and get that jump onto Limp, sure, a buyback was coming into play, but even without that, they just can't find anything more after committing everything onto the one hero.
Yeah, it's just well played by Lions. I love the buyback from Limp because, yeah, sure, you only get 2, but you killed the Alk, and you're going to get Roche now for free. All Na'Vi have is that initial jump. If they don't straight up win a team fight off it, they cannot fight anymore. So once this buyback occurs, Alliance just have 2 BKB heroes. You just walk and Crystallize. There's no one that can save them. You've got ancillary support. You can heal them a little bit, but that's it. That's Aegis. Yeah, that's a very worthy buyback.
Yeah, that absolutely is. This game for Na'Vi just continuing to be very, very difficult. Despite the numbers at the top, sure, 16 to 17, only a 2K lead for Alliance. It's not that close as the numbers show. There's an Alchemist on Na'Vi's side. If you're down 2K at 28 minutes and your main core's an Alch, you're in a bad place.
Yeah, it just feels like they aren't as confident, perhaps, with the strategy as other teams are. When we see, Nigma or OG or Secret play this Alch, like, he's got stacks galore. He's got this path of money to follow until he's got enough items to carry his team. Crystallize felt like he was just on his own. I'm watching him walk through his own jungle, trying his best to stack one campus spawn. He wasn't in a lane after 4.5 minutes. Like, it's just a near impossible game for him to play. And really for all of Na'Vi at this point, because you're playing around a hero that isn't even strong enough to go toe-to-toe with one enemy core, let alone both. And yeah, I mean, so much gold saved on Pasha too, man. You're losing the game. You're down 2K gold. It's really 5 when you save 3.5 on your hero. He's going to get a casual medallion. Very odd game, very odd game. And Nico with the DD bottled. Yep, MKB next. He's just going to run straight for him.
Oh, yeah. Who's he going to find? Ooh. Just jumping in there, trying to almost just bait a reaction or an initiation from Na'Vi so he can look to turn it. Full pipe on S4, so I mean, Alliance at this stage with the Aegis, they're very much ready to just try and push to the high ground. As it's hard to really see how much NaVi's going to be able to offer out of defense.
Yeah, it's the map control factor. You know, they have so much wave clear. A bigger advantage than I think we surmised during the draft. You just see constantly S4 and Limp playing opposite sides. Nico sort of conducting his team around the map, looking to connect and find action for his team to connect to. And NaVi just kind of desperately taking the leavings. You can see how they're forced to sort of play the corners of the map at all times. Alliance just cutting across the middle, no problem, no fear.
Yeah, just getting all 3 lanes shoved in now, Alliance. Preparing for that high ground siege. Nico Baby, is he hunting? It's not going to be able to catch Immersion.
Yep.
NaVi do need to make sure that everybody is alive for that defense.
Very Wings-esque movements, just constantly cut waves. Don't run where the creeps will be. Catch the waves as they come out of base and try to find enemy heroes on the retreat. And you can see Alliance just sort of keeping NaVi in the crease. Game not over by any means. You know, one big team fight for a Warlock out. You could just see things turn around.
Dota Plus disagrees. 93% here for Alliance. And it's I think hard to feel that they're wrong here. This is a very, very tough game for NaVi to take control of. As they have continuing to fall further behind. No real answer to deal with an Nico Baby Void. And as you touched upon before, just going to show again why this hero is one that you've got to be very prepared for if you're going to go against Alliance. As I feel like we've seen a fair few Voids just really struggle to have as much impact as Nico Baby has in this first 30 minutes. And you know, Nico Baby absolutely just showing exactly how it's done, how you have to play this hero in the early game.
Yeah. I think the item build's a lot to do with it. If he goes for some Battle Fury Rush or, God forbid, a Midas Maelstrom, we saw that disaster a couple times, Crystallize is going to have a lot more space. But Nico Baby, even when he's not finding kills, he hasn't left the enemy side of the map since he first crossed the river. I mean, he's just always looking for action. And yeah, sure, he hasn't found a Chrono in a little while, but why? Look where NaVi is. They're 5 heroes in base. Alchemist's 6th highest level in the game. Like, that's just crazy to me how well Alliance have slowed him down.
I mean, Alliance as well. They can. It feels like they can sort of play it chill. You know, at this stage, it's just your Void is so big. You don't really mind where this game goes as long as he's always finding the Chronospheres. The job for heroes like the Storm, it just feels impossible. Like, how's Storm ever going to go into these fights without worrying about being caught out? They're going to try for these smokes, as you say. This is the one way that they can make something work. They get this jump on FNG, on one of the sort of saving supports. I mean, even now though, these heroes are starting to tank up a bit.
He sniffed the smoke.
Nice smoke, he says.
Yeah, he has some of the best smoke awareness in Dota, but you'd expect that. He's been playing the game 15 years.
And Alliance, they're just going to look to hit back with their own smoke limp. On the silence. So if Nico Baby can catch any of them on the way out, Elise and Pasha trying to make their way out to the side. Nico Baby, he's just going in. He's going in. I mean, he knows he can. He's just going straight in, Nico Baby, up to the high ground. Chrono's out. They'll drop the Golem, but he's caught Pasha and Crystallize. Pasha will fall. Crystallize just get chain bashed. Finally able to walk away. A big zip in from Youngji, looks towards the backlines, but he cannot kill off FNG. The concoction out to S4, but the Lotus Orb's already there, sending it back over towards Crystallize. They don't get the out, but again, they're getting 2 kills. They're getting a core.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, Nico Baby, he allows for the vac wall. There's a new AC on the Alchemist, but as long as S4 is able to get that wall up beforehand, it's just completely negated. 5.5k down the drain. And Nico Baby's awareness, mid-fight, leaping onto his Oracle as the Storm started zipping, because Youngji can't get the kill on FNG if Nico's trading hits with them. So it forces G back to base and saves his Oracle without having needing to use his ultimate, as now G will clear the creep wave, but it's 2 dead. They're just on tier 3.
You're going to struggle stopping this push. As the Golem goes down, Alliance punching into the tier 3s of NaVi. What have NaVi got to show it? It's just each time that they have to do something whilst these ults are down. It feels like that's the only opportunity for NaVi. They've got to make a fast play. So try and start things onto the clockwork. Combo play here as Crystallize jumps in. Hansken's getting low, but the save's there. FNG comes in with a false promise. Youngji goes for the grab onto FNG. Pasha turns towards FNG, but FNG is able to turn with the root. He keeps himself alive. They can't kill the Oracle straight up. FNG still surviving. Greaves a pop, healing FNG up. He's fine. Crystallize, he's going to try and turn back in. Blinks forward, looks for Concoction target. Crystallize trying to beat into Nico Baby, but Nico Baby turns with the BKB, bashes him out of the game. That's a dieback on Youngji. His Alliance will take this game 1, and I mean they did it perfectly. As I said, this is, I think, one of those games that a lot of these teams that are trying to play the Void, you watch what Alliance did here, the way they played with and around Nico Baby's Faces Void, and you take something away from that.